Are you looking to grow your brand, but kind of stuck on whether you should launch a YouTube channel or a video podcast? Here's the deal. The choice you make could completely change how you create, share, and monetize your content. And spoiler alert, it all comes down to intent. What are your ideal audience members looking for out of content from you? Stick around to the end of this video because we'll break down the strategic and the practical considerations of help you decide on the best goals for you, your content, and your brand. First, let's clarify the first two terms. I think there's a lot of confusion in the podcasting and the content world between these two kind of forms of media. And when I say podcasts on YouTube, I'm talking about like the intent of creating an audio-first podcast, distributing it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the traditional podcasting media, but also including YouTube. So things waveform, static images, and podcast-first content probably, but also just added to YouTube. Whereas starting a YouTube channel really is video-first formats, highly engaging visual content, audibly, also there, but YouTube is the first place that you think about how you create content, what you create, why it's interesting for someone to tune in on a platform like YouTube in a video-first modality. To take a step back, the rise of video in podcasting isn't just hype. There's data to say that more than a third of all podcast listeners prefer watching content rather than just listening to it. And so there's really something to this video trend, but what is it? And is it worth your investment as a creator? I personally think the buzz on YouTube comes down to a couple of things. One is episode level discoverability. In YouTube, you have the ability for someone to find you just for a single video. That doesn't exist in the podcasting world. Also, there's built-in monetization through YouTube and Google's AdSense program, much like we have with Castos ads, where any creator can just turn on Castos ads and start making money. But we're a little unique in the podcasting world in that it's just not ubiquitous and available for everybody. It's available for everyone on the Castos platform, but you may not host your podcast on a platform like Castos where you can make money automatically from your content. But now let's dive deeper into which strategy works best, whether it's a YouTube channel or a video podcast, to grow your brand. First, let's talk about audience intent. YouTube viewers typically seek entertaining visuals and little bite-sized learning, whereas podcast listeners crave long-form, deep, engaging, and they're perfect for commutes, multitasking at the gym, walking the dog. Next is discoverability. YouTube's algorithm really pushes your content to new audiences based on their interests, whereas, as you know, podcasts thrive on niche targeting and subscribers consistently listening to every one of your episodes. While podcast listeners find you by topic or genre maybe, YouTube's discoverability can kind of seem like magic sometimes when your video is kind of vaulted into the homepage and you see new audiences from all over that you probably wouldn't get that kind of distribution and visualization from podcasting directories like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And of course, there's style of content, right? Casual solo episodes or highly produced segments. Which are you after? Both can work, but YouTube really demands visuals that grab attention, especially at the beginning of a video. Whereas podcasts really excel in long, raw conversational tones. So it really is up to you and what kind of content you're looking for and how that matches with what your audience is looking for. Moving to the technical side of things, let's talk about gear and equipment, everybody's favorite topic. For YouTube or video podcasts, a good camera is really essential. I'm recording this on the Canon M50 Mark II. I absolutely love it. The other that I was really considering is the Sony ZV-E10. Both are really great cameras and can do wonders. If you're on a budget, just use your iPhone. It works great. For audio, USB mics like the Samsung Q2U or the Shure MV7 Plus are amazing choices. The Samsung Q2U goes for about $100. The Shure MV7 Plus like this goes for about $250. But I don't think that anybody who's just getting started needs an XLR mic or all the complications that come along with that. When it comes to video though, lighting is absolutely essential. Good lighting will make a bad camera look really great. And a well-lit setup and a little bit of acoustic treatment in the place that you're working, like foam panels or blankets, can really make a difference. I'm shooting this with the Elgato key lights. I have one on each corner of my desk here, and I think it does a really good job of lighting my scene here. Either way, don't forget about format and editing. Podcasts are a lot more forgiving with audio edits, but video, you gotta have multiple shots, great lighting, good camera, good scene behind you, and a lot of the visuals of the story that you're telling. So if editing isn't your thing, you might want to keep it simple in a way to produce content on a regular basis. Now let's talk turkey. Revenue, right? YouTube offers revenue through their AdSense programs. You could do things like sponsorships or even sell merch through your channel. Podcasts, on the other hand, you have things like donations, paid subscriptions, sponsors, and a lot of these are available through the Castos platform. If you're hosting your podcast there, they're all available to you entirely for free. And really, either way you go, to repurpose long-form video content into short clips for places like Instagram and YouTube Shorts are absolutely key to you getting exposure to new audiences through the power of social media. Even if social media isn't your thing, and it's not really mine, I publish every piece of my podcast to social media as a way to get exposure to new audiences, for them to come in and get to know me better through my long-form content. And let's not underestimate the power of collaboration. If I was just starting a podcast today, it would be a guest format podcast, because guest appearances or having a guest on your show let you tap into other people's audiences, OPA, right? Other people's audiences is really the key to growing a show kind of on easy mode. And so if you're not doing this already, I would really consider how you can leverage other people's audiences to grow your brand and get exposed to new listeners. And you might be wondering, hey, I don't know if I want to start with video. It seems like a lot of work. It seems really complicated. And all those things are definitely true. But I think that that is also the moat or the barrier that gives you a bit of a competitive advantage over some other creators who are only doing audio still. In our Castos production service, where we do done-for-you editing, kind of A to Z work for our clients, we haven't launched a single audio-only podcast in over 2 years. If that's any indication as to where the market is going, video is the place to be. So, what about you? What's your goal in creating this piece of content? Is it to start a YouTube channel? Is it to start a video podcast? How does that match with the intent and the desires of your audience and the kind of content that you want to create? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment in below with how you're thinking about this piece of content that you're creating. And if you're ready to take the next step in your podcasting journey, head over to castos.com to start your free 14-day trial. Unlock hosting, growth, distribution, all in one place, entirely done for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.